God damn it. Oh. Ah. What's up, chat? I mean, the pain right now. The artistic pain. It's been a while. Since I've been like, ah shit, I can't draw anything. And I thought it was because I had gotten better. Which is true, I have gotten better, but it's more like I had gotten good at drawing the things I draw. But now it's time to draw the things I can't draw. And now we're back at, 5 years ago. Is basically the situation. So now I get to experience the exquisite pain of being like, oh fuck, how do I draw this? Oh, that looks wrong. Oh, I don't want to do this. Also, I don't know how shirts work. I'm not really trying to draw a realistic shirt. I'm just trying to draw a cool looking shirt. Fuck my Shimoneta life ball. Please heal me with some elf tits. I need it before this October. Let's make the eyebrows thicker. There. Here's a 5-second elf boobs. I feel like the tank top is the easiest format for drawing very large boobs because the tank top provides support for the breast weight. So if you're going to draw like somebody and actually think about their skeletal structure and you're like, okay, the boobs are going to be here, and if they're going to be triple D cup massive giga boobs, they're going to have to sag down like this. But then if you're going to put them in a bikini, that means the sagging is going to get negated a little bit, so they're going to maybe be more like this with the bikini pulling it up. But what if the bikini is in a different position and so on? But if you draw it in tank top shape, because it sort of encompasses the boobs and it provides so much support, it ends up being like very stable, I've noticed. So you can just draw like the same shape every time, and it just ends up sort of going more and more outward, I feel. If we have any big boobed women in chat, that wear tank tops that can confirm this. Please notify me if I'm correct or not. Also, I grew up in the 2000s when every girl was only allowed to wear tank tops and low-rise jeans that exposed their thong, so I don't know if I have a tank top fetish, but it has just sort of become the default female boob presenting attire in my brain, I feel. Better times? I mean, women still wear clothing that exposes their body and presents their sexual traits to men. That hasn't actually changed. I know because I go to Planet Fitness and every day there's a woman basically wearing what would consider to be, if it was a hentai video game, let's just say that she'd be wearing the equivalent of a Taimanin outfit, skin-tight ninja bondage suit, asking for, you know, orcs to tear it off. But if you consider it, as long as you give it the Lululemon logo and, you know, consider it to be yoga pants, it's not considered to be lewd attire anymore, I guess. You all have so much more access to thoughts now. That's right, guys. Just donate to your local OnlyFans woman. I don't know. I feel like there were plenty of thoughts back in the early 2000s when I was becoming a teenager as well. I wasn't exactly, you know, trying very hard to access them myself, so it's kind of difficult for me to confirm or deny this, but those super high-sides panties from the 80s, 90s were kind of great, to be honest. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, average class of 2004 chick looked like this. Hello, sir. Yes. Let's have, my tank top. Avril Lavigne. And then hold on. I have to make sure I show the feet because go like this. Jinko? Is that what how you spell Jinko? Thong strap must be visible. And then you get the bell bottoms. Although I think that stopped when I was in middle school. The bell bottoms was a pretty short period in my life. I think between like 1999 and 2001. Eyeliner and lip piercing. And her name is Ashley. I don't know what the most common name of current females are. But, back in my day, every single class in middle school had at least 2 Ashleys. Yes, the whale tail thong, when seen from behind, you have the, this, and then it's like, you get to see the thong like that. Because every girl basically was doing this, it didn't really hit home at the time what, you know, level of thoughtery was going on right there. But in retrospect, it was quite a lot of thoughtery. Especially when you read like hentai and then when the brown-skinned Chad guy is NTRing the pure-hearted school class president girl, and we're in like chapter 4, and he's like forcing her to dress like a slut to humiliate her, and the clothing that he chooses for her to wear is always like, you know, super short hot pants with like visible thongs and stuff. That's when it finally dawned on me that the clothing that I experienced in early 2000s America was the same clothing that hentai antagonists are getting women to wear to humiliate them. So, you know, it was a different time, guys. Madison is the Gen Z equivalent of Ashley or Jessica. Yeah, I haven't really talked to any teenagers recently, so I don't really know what the most common. All I know is young people names and black people because I watch the NBA. I know that Jalen is way too common a name now. That's all I can say. There were not many Jalens when I was growing up. You only had the original Jalen, which apparently was Jalen Rose. According to Jalen Rose, his uncle invented the name Jalen, so he started it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is definitely a problem when you're trying to watch the NBA and there's literally two Jalen Williams on the same fucking team, so you don't know which Jalen Williams they're talking about. Would never name a kid Caroline because our outcast. I feel like the current trend, or maybe it's an old trend at this point, I'm not sure if it's current anymore, but I feel like we had a distinct period in which if you had a girl, you would name her like a female name that can be shortened to sound like a male name. Like you'd name her Alexis or something, and then everyone is supposed to call her Alex or some shit like that. I don't know if we're past that. I guess Madison is the same thing. Kevin Durant bringing a basketball as his +1 to a wedding is my favorite fact I learned recently. Kevin Durant truly is one of us in terms of like, if he wasn't 7 feet tall and one of the best scorers in NBA history, he'd just be a really sad guy on his computer typing shit on 4chan. For those of you who don't know, Kevin Durant got exposed in the past for having multiple Twitter accounts so he could get into online fights with people and shit. When people asked Kevin Durant what he thought was a good nickname for him, he wanted to get himself to be called the Servant. Because he was like, I serve people and shit. Which was like one of the weirdest fucking things for somebody to say. Alexis really sounds like a porn star. I don't know why, but it does. I think it's generally a pretty popular porn star name. Hold on, let me look it up. Alexis porn star. When I put in Alexis porn star, I get about 2 or 3 hits at the beginning. Alexis Fox. Alexis Texas. Meh. She's looking like someone that the Texas part is appropriate. And I do not mean that as a compliment. Alexis is a very popular stripper name. So she's sunburned and overweight. I mean, she's only a little overweight. By American standards, she's downright anorexic. She's probably only about like 15 pounds overweight, I'd say. I want a little more black in the hair. Alright, that's enough fiddling with the whole shit right here. I have 3 French Alexis at work, and they are all artists. So my mother tried to name me a name that I could use both in Japanese and English. But the way she did it, it ended up giving me a Japanese female porn star name. There's definitely several Japanese female porn stars with my Japanese name. However, what's in a name? It doesn't really matter because I don't actually socialize with people, and names only are important if you socialize with people, so... Also, Japanese people, as you guys might know, if you watch any anime, they don't really use your lower name very often. They almost always use your upper name. As you would know if you've seen any anime and the guy calls the girl by her lower name and she goes, Baka, don't call me by my lower name, kya, and gets all, you know, flushed and shit. You're just supposed to call them Sagawa-san or whatever. First name to pregnancy pipeline. It goes, first it goes first name, and then when you get to the marriage stage, you can call them stuff like anata, which is just like you. It shows that you're so familiar with the person, you just call them you. Calling someone anata in Japanese is the equivalent of an American calling a woman their bitch or something. It shows a level of possessiveness and security over your relationship that would be unthinkable on a casual level. The Danna-sama? Danna-sama? You said the word, even though you misspelled it. You know what that means. You're summoning it. Oh, 50-year-old Baba making cute noises. What is this hell song? Just type Kugimiya Rie into YouTube and it will appear immediately. It's the sloppiest isekai slop that it only exists to have Kugimiya Rie be a fluffy-eared fucking, I don't know. I think she's supposed to be Fenrir. If there's one mythological creature that has been fucked in Japanese anime more than anything, it's probably Fenrir. I'm getting closer in age to the 50-year-old making "Aya" noises than the character she's trying to emulate. Yes. But if Kugimiya Rie was older than you when you were young, she will always be older than you. Even when you're older. Look at that perfect MC. The most boring ass character design you can think of. She's supposed to be Fenrir, but she turned into a waifu after being overpowered by the protag, and she starts to frantically try to get laid with him after being impressed by his strength. Yes. At its core, it's basically the same as classical fantasy that we had before, which was still male power fantasies. The thing about isekai was like, modern men don't have time to read 50 volumes where they go on long adventures and impregnate the princess after showing your strength to them after like volume 30. They don't have time for that shit. So stage 1 of isekai was like, we'll just have that happen in like the first volume instead of volume 30. But we're, you know, at year 10 of the isekai trend, and at this point we've made the process efficient enough that, you know, we get to that point where they just desperately want your penis by minute 5 of the anime. So we've become extremely efficient at it. At least it was kind of funnier than the Goblin one. That was way too cringe. Ari Monster is actually from the first original wave of isekai slop. It's back when, from authors who were actually trying to do like serious fantasy, I don't know, cringe kino, whatever they were trying to do. Is this that idol you showed that was still doing shows at like 50 pretending to be a teen? You don't understand. There's multiple idols that do that. If you're a successful seiyuu and you can still make the cute voices, and you're a Japanese woman that still looks relatively young at 45 from a distance, they will make you do cutesy stuff, no matter how embarrassing it is to be doing that shit at 50. The otaku don't fucking care. Seiyuu fans are an entirely different breed of brain rot. than like all the other types of otaku. There's an infamous 2chan Seiyu otaku saying where like an otaku is listening to a one of his voice actress's voices, and he's like, she's not projecting her voice from her what do you call it, what's the English word for, not cervix, your skin, for your hymen. That's right. She's not projecting her voice from the hymen. That means that I can tell that she had sex and she's no longer a virgin. She's betrayed her fans. That's like a famous copy pasta. Yeah. I think Seiyu fans were like the original psychos that would be checking all the social media accounts of the voice actresses on Christmas to make sure they weren't having sex. Like, if the woman was pretending she was alone, if the woman was doing anything besides going to a party with other female voice actresses, they'd be like, she's having sex right now. However, what's especially funny is voice actresses would, you know, begin to reach an age in which their fans would be like, oh, she's finally found a man. Thank God. I was getting worried. That's when you know that you're hitting the wall, is when your voice actor otaku aren't like, no, she's betraying us. She was supposed to marry me. And they start being like, oh, good. I'm glad that she has found a man to take care of her. It would be sad if she was still single at 40. Not a good sign. The fact that Seiyu fans will go feral over her getting a boyfriend like with idols is pretty pathetic. You don't understand. There is no difference between Seiyu and idol, because the companies that promote them figured out they could make way more money if they just made Seiyu into idols, so... The BaalBud bar, take a seat. It's really not my bar. I'm just talking about normal occurrences on the Japanese internet. I'm trying to convey the minutiae of the Japanese internet to you guys in real time. It's no different from all the crazy fuck that happens with, I don't know, K-pop fans in the Western sphere or whatever. Basically the same shit. The conversations we have here, they come from a location of the same energy. If I talk about the Japanese internet, then everybody must talk about that content as well. Soot, maybe? I don't know what I want to do here. Nice free Hando Burashi. Well, I thought about using tones, but I already tried doing tones. I'm so glad I'm doing this digitally because I can't seem to get the right effect, and I have to keep on like redoing shit again and again because I just can't find what I'm looking for. If I was doing this analog, I wouldn't be able to do that, of course. with screen tones you can kind of peel them back off, but considering how much time it takes for you to slap them on and stuff, it's a real pain in the ass. Aren't you single at 40? I'm getting worried about my idol ball buddy hitting the wall. No, my eggs are drying up. I don't know. My sperm seems to be doing okay. I haven't gotten tested, but I'm pretty sure if I wanted to pass down my accursed genes to some unfortunate child, I would be able to do it if I wanted to. However, I couldn't wish such a cruel fate on anybody. That's just like fucked up, man. Let's get that prostate cancer checked. They only start doing it at 45. Because they can, like, fucking kill you. There's like a 0.5% that you die getting your prostate checked. Because they're sticking, like, some weird, I don't know, camera shit up your asshole. So they don't want you to start doing it before you have to do it. If your cum tastes like pineapple, you're good. No need for tests. How many of you guys have actually tasted your own cum before? As someone who tried it once, I just like to point out that it tastes awful, and people shouldn't do that. Tastes like pool water. It smells like pool water. I was on a swim team for most of my youth, and pool water definitely does not taste the same as cum. That's not true. I mean, pool water is water for the first thing. And cum is not water. That's a pro tip there, guys. Semen, not water. Yeah. I figured this shit out. Pool water tastes like French tap water. I mean, they're probably full of the same chemicals. And the same shit. I mean, it's the combination of, like, chemicals and, like, human feces, probably. Human feces diluted and disinfected thanks to chlorine is the taste of pool water and French tap water. Delicious. My girlfriend said my cum tastes surprisingly good. Oh no, it's a semen demon. That's a succubus, my man. You should call your local priest. She's either being very polite or she's a literal succubus and she's trying to drain you of your precious man fluids. You need to be careful. I never tried my own supply, but I dated a trans girl once and everything it tasted like Monster Energy. Maybe they just drink a lot of Monster. I don't know. I only tasted my own cum once, so it's kind of hard for me to be too objective about this, but it tasted the worst shit. It was just like snot. Cum was definitely not something meant to be put in your mouth, guys. You shouldn't pretend otherwise. Roll sex, hot, steamy, JoJo sex with female. Wah. Is that a JoJo reference? Did someone just make a JoJo reference in chat? People swallow their snot with no issue. I don't want to swallow my snot. It sucks. Maybe I'm just not as congested as some of you people are, but... I like my woman how I like my stands, soft and wet. I like my woman like I like my stands. Moody Blues? I don't know. I can't remember. I like my woman like I like my stands. King of Cream is on! I still find it hilarious how people kept saying no one will get King Crimson and the anime explained it in like a minute. joke's on you, I still don't understand how King Crimson works, no matter how many times it's explained to me.
また後で出直してき。え？キングクリムゾン。お前に私のキングクリムゾンの能力の一部を与えてやったのを忘れたか。未来はもう変えようがない。そこだ、食らえ。
I just like to, I feel like King Crimson is highly overrated in terms of JoJo powers. If we're talking about, like, actually fighting and stuff, all it does is basically, eliminate the possibility for you to, like, dodge an attack or stuff like that. That's about it. Which is something that you wouldn't be able to do anyways if you were a normal human being and someone tried to shoot you. It's only relevant if you have a stand in the first place. Do you watch any anime? Anime is for fucking loser nerds. No. God damn it. The whole YouTube fucking channels, subscriptions, following system is so ass because the order of shit keeps on changing depending on whether they're live or not. What the fuck? It eventually becomes completely impossible. I need to just delete like half of my subscriptions at this point. Jesus fucking Christ. I still feel like Sticky Fingers are underutilized. Sticky Fingers would be a pain in the ass to draw, though. If you don't use your own subscriptions page, then you're at the mercy of the YouTube recommendations. And I need to actually go to some of these subscriptions to, like, I'll subscribe to art tutorial channels and I'll be like, I need to watch some, like, background art tutorials. I actually have this channel subscribed to. Maybe I just need, like, my own bookmarks of my own subscriptions. I think that's actually the solution here, is that I have a separate bookmarks folder of my things I'm already subscribed to on YouTube. Try a custom YouTube app like FreeTube. It's less bloated, but since Google doesn't have an official app, it's more bugged. Huh. Well, whatever. I think it's better if I just delete like half of my subs at this point. At least half of the names of my subs are in Japanese, which automatically puts them at the end of the list, and it sort of makes it easier to follow shit. Just having two languages actually makes it easier to follow shit. Where are the white elves at? There's one white elf in this chapter that has big boobs, that's about it. You finished reading JoJo Leon? So the way I read manga is that I browse the Shonen Jump website, and then like every week they're like, this manga is free, the first 10 chapters are free, and I'll just read the free shit without actually like buying anything or pirating anything, and I'll be like, okay, that was a good enough experience, I don't need to read the next 20 chapters of this, I know what it's like. Let's be honest, most of manga is better in its first like 5 volumes than its like last 5 volumes anyway, so actually yesterday I was reading Diamondo no Kozai. I don't know if you guys know that. It's the translation was Days of Diamond. It had an excellent first like 3 or 4 volumes, and after that it was it kind of drops off because there's too many characters. Ace of Diamond? I don't think so. It's a recent manga. Daiya no Ace. That's a different manga, I believe. This is what I'm talking about, but it's basically a psychological shoujo manga style psychological thriller about human relations disguised as a baseball game. And the main character at the top right here is like a super giga genius. He's basically the baseball version of a succubus, in which all the people around him kind of, like, no matter how much of an asshole or weirdo he ends up being, all the people around him end up being, like, falling in love with his talent as a baseball player because he's such a good pitcher, and it fucks up human relations around him. It's really interesting. You should at least read, like, the first four volumes or so. They're different, yet they are both about baseball and both have diamond in their name. I know this might be shocking for some of you people in chat who have a lower than 70 IQ, but the term diamond appears a lot in baseball related manga. I'm not sure why, but if you think really hard, you might be able to figure out why a lot of baseball manga are called Diamond of something. You might be able to solve the mystery. I am reading Korean webtoon slop at the moment. Oh no, I must have sex with my aunt. How can this be? The only way for me to fulfill my destiny as this Korean Zaibatsu oligarchy inheritance rich kid is to use my special Chunibyo mind control powers to hypnotize my aunt and have incest sex with her. And then get revenge on that one popular girl who bullied me 5 years ago. There, I just gave you the plot of the next big Korean webtoon hit. No Korean will be able to resist the sheer amount of plot lines I just crammed into that 5-second explanation. Nah, more like isekai genre. You can still add the I have to have sex with my aunt and use my special powers in the isekai genre. No reason to limit yourself. It needs Queen of Spades NTR2 for the true Korean experience. Imagine being like, this big titty woman is so sexy, but there's only one way in which I can masturbate, and it's if she has very specific race play tattoos on her. My auntie turned down my advances. Read about how Ji Hoon Kyun Poon misinterprets his young auntie's signals and must now deal with the very uncomfortable realistic outcome of trying to engage in incest. No. I can't have reality. Please, guys, you can't give Koreans a dose of reality. The suicide rate is already too high. It's too painful. How about, like, I failed the one exam I have to get into a good university and then get into Samsung, and now I must work as a package delivery man for the rest of my life because our economy is so shit and I will never reproduce. How about that? Korean romance is an interesting state. So much of the woman's manhwa is sadistic pegging porn, and the men's stuff is incest power fantasies, gender wars seeping through. That's pretty interesting. I actually haven't read any Korean manhwa in a long time, so I didn't know that it was like that. Because, like, if you read Japanese content, like, Japanese birth rate is down, but content meant for women is still pretty, I don't know how would you say it, like masochistic, basically. It's still like, I want the Ikemen-kun to notice me and then, you know, push me against the wall and be like, you're so cute, Kanako, which is why I'm being forced to rape you. And she's like, oh no, teehee. I don't think any of the Japanese female consumers of shoujo or other types of romance genres actually want to do any pegging versus guys. So it's interesting that Korea is going in that direction. Do you freehand your text or type it out? There's some free-handed text and there's some typed out text. I use a combination of both. On a completely unrelated note, well, not completely unrelated, but slightly unrelated note, don't you think it's stupid how American comics have this weird tradition where when they typeset shit, everything has to be in all caps all the time? It basically, by limiting yourself to all caps, you're reducing the number of tools you have in your toolbox for different types of text and different ways of speaking. They should they should just write normally, and then when someone's screaming or something, they can use all caps and stuff. It's really dumb that it's always all caps all the time. That's always bugged me. These people think that they're smart, but they're not. That's the wrong idea. It's easier to hand letter capital letter. Yes, but we're not hand lettering in 2025. Japanese is a really cool language for that. How you can use hiragana versus katakana and combine kanji with different furigana. Yeah. If you're doing manga and like light novels and stuff, the furigana essentially allows you to like triple up your meanings. You can do all sorts of double meaning bullshit with your furigana. It's a leftover from the olden age. American comics haven't evolved since the 1940s, which is why they're getting their ass absolutely destroyed by manga at this point. Japan is a fictional country created for me to enjoy their media. That's how a lot of white people behave when they actually do go to Japan, which is why they have such poor behavior. Basically, like half of the white people that go to Japan as tourists think of Japan as like Disneyland or something. They're like, oh, look at all these mythical little dwarf people. Look how short they are. It's so cute. Let me do pull-ups on this local shrine's torii gate. That will definitely look cool on Instagram. Little Timmy doesn't give a fuck about Superman outside of power scaling. He wants to see Gojo do the purple flash and be cool. It do be like that at this point. American tourists are funny. Why you're all so loud? Honestly, no matter how bad American tourists are, as long as Chinese people exist, Japanese will never be very angry about American tourist behavior. The first chapter of my webcomic is going to be so action-packed, I can't wait to start drawing it in 10 years. Yeah, you better wait until everything's absolutely perfect. That's the only way that you can draw properly, guys. Don't worry. You just need to wait longer and everything will be better. What is one red flag that takes you out of a manga, like a giant exposition of lore or something? If the paneling is bad within the first 2 or 3 pages, I'm already out. Doesn't even have to be a lot of exposition. Even like having 2 or 3 too many text bubbles per panel, or having too many panels on one page, if it's in like the first 3 or 4 pages, I'm already out. Because it shows a greater lack of understanding of the reader's tolerance for bullshit, so it's not going to get any better. The amount of detail in older JoJo makes it hellish? Yes. You can blame Hokuto no Ken for that shit. The amount of detail they crammed into older Gekiga stuff, like Fist of the North Star, it fucked with the brains of a lot of people in the 90s. They were like, oh, the only way for me to make this good is if I cross-hatch everything to hell. Of course, now digitally, everybody doesn't actually have to cross-hatch shit by hand. They can just use the cross-hatching tool or whatever downloaded cross-hatching material they have and get it done for them. I'm trying to figure out what tools they're using, actually, because I know for a fact that they're not doing it by hand, that's for sure. Like, Dan has a million details on every single page. And it's definitely not, you know, the guy drawing those little hatch marks forever, so... Have to confirm line weight and stuff on the PNG every 10 minutes to make sure that I'm not overdoing it. This is fine. I don't know, man. Fuck me. I really love it when people draw out backgrounds. I know it's hard and time costing. The important thing to remember here is when you say people are drawing out backgrounds, it's not necessarily actually the author. So it's actually not time consuming. It's time consuming and destroying the health of the author's assistants, but not necessarily the author. Which is why there's a shit ton of manga that has a shit ton of time-consuming backgrounds in it, because the author is like, especially if the the manga is popular, because if the author can already hire and afford to hire a bunch of assistants, it doesn't really cost them anything to fill out panels with backgrounds if they have the assistants to do it for them. Now, if you're like Chainsaw Man, where you have the Dan author doing backgrounds for you, and then the guy quits to do his own series, and now people expect the same level of quality, suddenly you're in trouble. But if that doesn't happen, you're basically okay. Assistant-san, it's time to shine on this fantasy setting, make it whimsical, and never have aspirations of make your own work. Draw those fucking trees, bitch. There's always the way of just drawing it yourself, which is what I'm trying to do here, because I have no money to hire assistants. Dandadan author did what? Oh my god, they were fucking good. Dandadan author is one of those special kinds of manga where whenever anybody talks about Dandadan, they talk about how amazing the author is at drawing shit, and they will never, ever, ever, ever talk about the content, because the content is basically Sharknado, often literally stretched out to 30 volumes, and it never gets any kind of depth. It's just like people doing shit. That's it. It's like the most empty calorie shit, drawn in the most high calorie way possible. It's like if you were like, I'm just gonna eat McDonald's every day for the rest of my life, that's Dan for you. I like it. I mean, in all fairness, that's basically what Dragon Ball is as well, and people fucking love Dragon Ball, right? Wow, we have a lot of Dan believers in chat. Goddamn. I just don't feel like there's any stakes in Dan. So that just automatically makes me not really give a fuck about anything. I like that every character has to have a tragic backstory, but two of them have like very mildly upsetting past, and the other isn't explained at all. I was actually getting some of that in Demon Slayer recently, because I hadn't read much of Demon Slayer, but there was a lot of volumes for free on the Jump website, so I was like, okay, I'll read a bunch, because they wanted to promote the movie. And I liked how all the bad guys would have tragic backstories, or at least that's what you would think, but then the author every once in a while would be like, nah, this guy was just a piece of shit from the beginning. LMAO. Yeah, he was just legitimately a piece of shit. You don't have to feel bad for them at all. There's nothing tragic about why he became a demon. He basically deserved it. LMAO. I'm like, nice. I also don't like Dan Da Dan because the author puts in just enough horny rape suggestion stuff that it gets my penis going, but I also know that it will never actually develop anything because it's also mostly sexless as well. So it's just like a massive cock block. Is the gilf really like 60? Welcome to anime characters. You can't have old people unless they look like they're 30. That's why I like Fujita Kazuhiro, because like average Fujita Kazuhiro character is like the average old person in a Fujita Kazuhiro character kind of looks like this. Some people complain about the grandma not looking how she should, but it's like teen boys aren't gooning to real grandmas. Look, man, what can I say? I'm a product of the internet. My favorite content is Taimanin content, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm something other than what I am. Also, back in the day, we weren't like rape is bad when we had Bastard in Shonen Jump. When Bastard was still in Shonen Jump, we would be like, it's okay. Yes, he's raping them, but he's Dark Schneider, so he's allowed to do that because he's a Giga Chad. And the editors was like, yeah, seems about right. Let's just have this 10-page long rape scene in this shonen magazine. Bastard is so old at this point that people like me who were using it as jack-off material when they weren't allowed to buy porn are now approaching 40 and have 5,000 gigabytes of porn on their hard drive. And it still hasn't completed and probably never will be completed, Sag. Bastard sounds like an interesting read. It's pretty hard to read. Also, it's ultimately unsatisfying because the author has abandoned it, so you won't actually get the real conclusion. He wanted to do this whole, like, Christian apocalyptic scenario, but he starts jumping around the place, and then ultimately he doesn't have time to finish it, and it's been abandoned, so I would not recommend picking it up unless you want to see boobs, which I guess a lot of people do. Big skip for me, unfocused story. It's good if you like 90s era anime where they have like the super big pauldrons, like Record of Lotus War and stuff like that. It's not good if you expect it to reach its ultimate conclusion, which it does not. But you know what? More mangas fail to reach the end than they succeed, of course. There's obviously the rare cases in which the author doesn't plan to finish it and they get tired of their own series even though it's still selling. But it's much more common where it just gets axed ultimately, so... You got a general idea of how your story ends? Yes, I have a pretty specific idea of how it ends. However, I doubt I will be able to reach that point. Because I'll probably reach the skill level that I need to reach to start sending manuscripts to publishing companies before that, so... I'd say there's a pretty high chance it won't get finished. Even if they end, they only stick the landing like half the time. I mean... as long as it ends, that counts for like half. I'd say finished work is more impressive to get their attention. I don't think you understand. That's not how it works. They have a system that's set up already. They're not necessarily being like, oh, you were able to finish, you know, your series and stuff like that. That's not how they're thinking. Are you gunning for Japanese publishers? Yeah. Of course. Why would I ever try and join the American publishing industry? Which has all the shittiness of the Japanese publishing industry, but none of the benefits. Will you be able to handle 36-hour drawing requirements? You don't have to have be a weekly mangaka anymore. Instead of being on a weekly schedule, you can be on a monthly schedule. Anyways, I'm not hitting the speed requirements I need in the first place right now, so it's kind of irrelevant. If I can't hit the speed requirements anyways, it doesn't really make any difference. What's your thoughts on the indie manga scene? I think it's a waste of time and money. And I'm not going to go to conventions to peddle my wares. Most of those people are losing money. If I was going to do the indie manga scene, again, I would sell doujins in Japan. I wouldn't try and do it in America. Hold on, I have to change the sheet of paper I have taped to my tablet right now. It's getting wrinkly. I can't draw the lines I want to draw. Ugh. Traveling to cons is hell of expensive. It's not even half as expensive as the fucking printing costs. Anyways, if all I care about is being like some version of indie bullshit, then I should just continue what I'm doing right now. The whole goal of this is to have greater aspirations, to be more than just a small fish in a small pond, and have the full backing of the publishing company to get me to a larger audience that I wouldn't be able to capture as just a Twitter Patreon artist. Ugh. Ugh. God damn, my own body odor smells so bad. Fuck. Ugh. I hate summer so much. Ugh, fuck me up harder, summer. Ugh. Ugh. There was this Twitter mangaka called Ochi Kairu who really pissed me off because he has like 20 different series and most he does is like 5 chapters before abandoning them. You want to see the current mangaka that the Japanese internet is talking about for his cringeness? Here. see if I can actually find it. So this is a guy called Yagi-kun, who apparently was able to get his weekly series from the Jump Shonen Jump Indies category, in which you get, if you get enough views in the Indies category, then you get an automatic series, but you don't get any books published. So look at his drawing. Here we go. CG background, CG model of plane, CG background. I don't know if this is CG, but I assume it's that. All the characters are drawn with using the character model dolls. And then more CG model backgrounds, CG model backgrounds, and then boom, AI. That's right. Oh man, look at him. He drew such a fucking detailed color image after all this stuff. Oh man, he must have worked so hard on this one. Just straight up chat GPTs it. And it's funny because you see how he can't really draw faces? If you look at his older shit, he was actually better at drawing faces. And because he's relying so much on the human mannequins where you sort of paste the face on it, he can no longer draw faces properly anymore. So the Japanese internet is absolutely fucking pissed at this guy because he's been basically gaming the systems to get his spots in this the weekly Jump position. Like, he has enough Twitter followers that he can game the system, and then he just posted a bunch of, you know, poorly drawn backgrounds and shit like that. And it's not just that he can't draw, he also uses chat GPT for like the dialogue and the writing as well, and he's actually openly said that he uses it. So everyone's just like, what is the point of this person? Why don't we just have chat GPT, you know, make the manga for us? And people are trying to get the Shonen Jump publishing editors to change the rules for their whole setup so he won't be allowed to have a series and stuff. That's how much he's hated. So this is the age we're living in right now. If you go to any of these online websites, there's like 30 manga that are just isekai shit that has been manga-ized, made into a manga, and the authors are they're basically not at professional level at all. So that was like the Shonen Jump version of that, but like, you have the same thing where, let's say I go to Maga Pocketto. This is the Shonen Magazine. The Shonen Magazine version of that. If you go there, they have, you know, they have all like actual manga from like Morning and stuff like that, like Space Brothers and shit, like real mangaka stuff. But if you go to, they have an entire fucking isekai section. So I click on the isekai section. Let's just go to one in which, you know, isn't very popular. And it's just, you know, basically what you would expect from isekai. They can barely draw characters. They can barely draw backgrounds. Everything is just like CG, you know, materials. This is all like downloaded materials here. And then the person who's writing it isn't even the person who's drawing the manga, because it's based off of an isekai, you know, extremely poorly written novel that, you know, so they already have a script as well. You know, like, So we don't have to pretend like, you know, the only way to be a mangaka is to have the highest quality shit. I'm just trying to get it that way, but the standards have been lowered, guys. If all you care about is surviving, I don't know if these people are surviving, but I respect the effort you put in. I am also someone who reads manga, and I wouldn't want to give someone shit that I don't want to read myself. If my standards can't clear what I would want to read, I wouldn't be able to. I can't really give you a piece of paper with some shitty drawing that I would just be like, nah, this is shit, right? Obviously, it's taking me way too much time, but I put the blame on Attack on the Titan. LOL. It's actually the publishers probably have a contract with the person who's drawing that, where they're paid based on how much they sell, how many books they sell, or how many views they get. So it's probably in a way in which the publisher basically doesn't have to pay the person up front almost anything. And if it becomes popular, then it becomes popular, and then the publisher gets money. And if it isn't popular, then the people are just working for free, essentially, is my guess. Witch Hat Atelier really set a high standard, in my opinion. Yeah, but we don't have to all meet the same standard. That's the thing about manga. Manga is about reading. It's something that's meant to be read, not just looked at. Not everything has to be Witch Hat Atelier. A lot of manga I reread doesn't have the best art. I feel like a lot of the art that we consider to be like great art to look at isn't necessarily necessary for, that's a horrible way of speaking, isn't necessarily necessary for the experience of reading the manga. So, if you listen to like professional tips from editors online, well, you can't because it would be in Japanese, but I do. And things that you'll often hear said is like, you don't necessarily have to be good at like drawing in terms of fundamental. What's more important is that people can tell what's happening in your manga. It has to be easy to understand, not necessarily pleasant to look at. Which shows how much you can get away with. I guess I can just color over this. I personally only read the highest quality artwork manga, however, except Lucky Man. Have you guys read Lucky Man? I always talk about Lucky Man. Lucky Man is the first manga by Gamo Hiroshi, who we don't know for sure, but probably went on to become the Death Note writer and the Bakuman writer. I read a lot of josei, so artwork isn't the priority always. I mean, more than josei, what about shoujo? If you're reading shoujo, like, shoujo authors know how to draw, like, one thing. Cute girl, and then guy who looks like cute girl. And then everything else is just, like, extremely indistinct storytelling, indirect storytelling, where they just, like, show a windowsill, or like a lens flare or a flower or something, and then they'll put like the dialogue there talking about her feelings. I only own one shoujo in my house in terms of actual books, and that's The Flower of Versailles. Strong, masculine, non-heteronormative female loses to the Chad childhood friend Dick, and then dies because it's shoujo, of course. If the female doesn't have an entire galaxy worth of stars in her eyes, then are you even shoujoing hard enough? I want to look into the eyes of that female character and see the entire Milky Way. The irony of Rose of Versailles being about childhood friend, heteronormative male, turning lesbian straight, and then that becoming like the #1 lesbian generating media in Japan for the next 50 years. Where you have an entire subsection of Japanese women being like, Oskaru-sama! And going to Takarazuka stuff. It's pretty funny if you think about it. We're just in max gender bending territory. Same author also wrote a story about transgender women. Back in, shoujo was way on that stuff, way before American politics got into it. Genderbender was always one of the most popular Japanese manga plots, whether you're like, it's like Stop Hibari-kun and you're having shenanigans where you bump into each other and you're a guy and now you're a girl, or you're switching places, or you're just cross-dressing, or there was always a huge subsection of genderbender content. Or on High School Host Club. I never finished it. That was a anime I was watching in college for sure. back when anime was just sitting on YouTube because people would upload it and nobody gave a fuck about IP, so you're just like, I'll just open YouTube and watch 50 episodes of anime for free. Because it's just there. Let's see if this anime from the 90s of my childhood is on YouTube. Yes, it is. Let's watch that. And then if you didn't watch it all, when you had the opportunity, it would just get taken off YouTube and you're like, fuck, oh well. It's a sad story. It's called Claudine. I don't actually like shoujo. I kind of like shoujo. I don't actually like it. If you need any explanation why... Let's see if I can find it. Remember that we did these tests in the Discord. Gender role test, your personality is 44% masculine, 0% feminine. So, yeah. Perhaps I have difficulty self-inserting as average shoujo girl, being like, oh, I have freckles. I'm not cute. There's no way senpai will like me like this. But I still wish senpai would notice me, doki doki. Where's the rest of 36? The rest of 36 is like, I don't know, horrible monster, tentacle monster genes. I tried reading Red River recently, and it's toxic traits of isekai and shoujo in one. I've never even heard of that. When you said Red River, I immediately thought of like the classic Western, so... Oh, Tenwa Akaigawa no Hotori. I know about that one. They really fucking shortened the title in the English version. I haven't actually read it though. Do you draw traditionally at all with your line quality? Inking must be fun. It's not. You know why? So if you do inking like this type of hard inking, you have to draw from the top and then go down from the page. Because what will happen is you have your hand on like this, and if you have a line here, this area, if you put your fucking hand on top of this, then there's a giant fucking ink. It looks like this if you look from the side. There's a giant fucking blob of ink there. And you put your hand on it, and suddenly this line right here, this sharp little line, is gonna look like this. And you're like, oh fuck! I wasn't paying attention again, fuck! Gotta get the white out. God damn it, fuck me. And, so you have to be constantly thinking about what part of the page is dry and what part is inked. And it's no fun. I'd much rather prefer drawing in digital. There's just not as much freedom in analog. It's kind of the opposite of what you would think. Because like, you're like, oh, you can do anything. If you're working in analog, you're just free. But there's specific gray things that you can't use. Like you can't use like a mechanical pencil and stuff like that. If you work in gray and digital, they'll just change everything into tones later. So you can work in gray if you want. I don't know. There's just way much more freedom. Obviously, you can fuck up as much as you want, and you'll just be fine. You kind of have to be on your toes all the time when you're working in analog. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going back to analog unless I have to. For example, if you become a popular mangaka, then eventually they'll force you to do like signing events, and then you have to draw a bunch of characters on those pieces of paper and sign that shit and give it to people, which is something I would like to avoid, but I don't think the publishing company would be okay with me being like, oh, I don't want to do that. You could always do the Yoko Taro style mask. Well, I don't want to show my face either, but you would have to, when I do that, you have to draw on these, I don't know what the English word for it is, but shikishi, these specific pieces of paper that have like these gold borders. You guys know what I'm talking about? They sell this shit in auctions, but there's all these mangaka that they have to draw on these little pieces of paper. And then people will be like, look, I have this drawing from this mangaka. Because people don't want to go to a mangaka's like book signing and just get the mangaka sign their name. They want a fucking drawing in the course of the thing. So yeah, the cardstock boards. Horikoshi said in his final chapters that he hates inking. I mean, honestly, none of these people are in their right mind considering they've been drawing, 30 hours a day for the last 10 years. So why don't you try asking him when he's not on that level of workload. I'm sure he doesn't actually feel that way when he finally is allowed to actually relax. Everybody loves drawing if you draw enough to become a professional mangaka, until you actually become a professional mangaka, and then you fucking hate it. Because now you're a fucking slave. It takes a specific brand of psycho to be able to draw as much as you're asked to draw in weekly series and still not begin to hate your job. Weekly Mangaka or Psychopaths. I mean, it was based on Tezuka Osamu, who was like, I'm a psychopath and I think we should have a weekly schedule. And editors were like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's adjust the industry around This infamous psychopath. Surely this will not have any poor long-term effects on other authors who aren't psychopaths. Oh, this is too much. Apparently Muta, when he started to digital, he had to convince him to stop adding detail, so I make sure that I'm always zoomed out, like, half the time. Like, I have a second screen, that's where I'm always zoomed out, so I'm always looking at, like, the full page in print size, so I don't get myself, like, zoomed all the way in and start making that mistake. You can also, like, fuck up what you think might look good when zoomed in, might not actually look good when zoomed out, so you have to be careful about that shit. I've heard about some mangaka who are successful long term. They just have a full staff trained, and like they basically don't draw anything themselves. Like even the main characters, they have their staff ink for them. So that's a goal for everybody. Just have your draw slaves draw it for you. Working hard should be for personal validation. Even if you draw a shit ton of details, if the people don't like the manga, it won't make any difference. But more importantly, on the other end, you need to have a certain level of detail that's like the minimum level of like drawing detail that you need for the page to just kind of pop. So I'm trying to get there, at least. And that minimum amount of detail that you need to get to is probably a lot higher than you probably realize. If you actually look at like a manga page and see how much like little minute details you need to draw for it to actually look good, it's pretty staggering. You don't notice it until you look at someone who isn't like a professional. Like there's all these manga shorts that get sent to the publishing companies by people who aren't professionals yet, of course. And the ones that aren't good at drawing, like, it's like, oh, I finally see. This is what it looks like when someone doesn't have enough detail in their drawing. It looks like way too... It looks too flat, it looks too white. It's just lacking a bunch of shit. burning out, I think about Chad, Bengal, or Bochi, and it makes me feel like a wuss. You mean the anime character, Bochi the Rock, who was practicing guitar? Or do you mean Boichi, the Korean mangaka? Because one is a fictional character and the other is drawing a shit ton of details in a Western manga right now, and everyone is saying, please, Mr. Editor, get this guy somebody to write the script for him because he's so fucking bad at creating long-term plots. It's actually really awful. I want to play video games. Actually, I don't want to play video games. I want to draw more, but just not the things I'm trying to draw right now. I wish I had some time to practice backgrounds for about 5 to 6 months before I draw the backgrounds in this chapter. Because I need the extra grind time before I can actually draw it, but I know that isn't an option because I'm already getting tired of drawing this chapter. And I'll fucking abandon it if I care too much about quality, which means I have to shit it out at subpar quality, or else I'm just gonna stop working on it, which is even worse. I need to draw more hair on Chadford. He's not hairy enough. He has arm hair and chest hair that I need to draw. You're gonna create a man with so much insulation he won't need a shirt in the winter. He only has a small amount of body hair compared to Grak. Grak has the full body hair. Chadford is like an 8, where Grack is like a 10 or an 11. What are you talking about in chat? Are you talking about murdering somebody in Minecraft or something? What the fuck? A shitty former boss of mine? Has anybody actually had a boss they like, though? I feel like the people who, if you're a lower level worker and you ever have to deal with middle management, the type of people who are, you know, trying to become middle managers are probably the worst type of human beings on the planet. Probably even worse than the people who are upper management. I remember that when I was working as a lifeguard at the YMCA, my boss was an obese white woman who claimed that she was 1/4 Cherokee or something, and she was also a habitual, compulsive liar. So everybody fucking hated her. She was trying to get promoted to a higher station in the YMCA, but instead of getting promoted, they didn't give her the promotion, so then she found the same position in a different YMCA on a different part of the country. So essentially she was still able to get promoted by moving to a location where people didn't know her incredibly shitty reputation, so... People who want to get promoted, get promoted. People who want more power, get more power, it seems. Pretty depressing if you think about it in that way. Why do American bathroom stalls have such massive gaps? You have to have the gap so you can stick your foot underneath the bathroom stall and touch the other guy's foot so you can initiate gay sex. That's just how these things work. Sorry, I don't think you'd understand. It's a guy thing. I once had a chihuahua walk into my stall at the mall bathroom. We just stared at each other. If any chihuahua gets close to me, I will step on it. My entire life, I have just been holding the desire to step on chihuahuas deep, deep down inside me. It's so hard. The desire to step on these tiny little dogs. I know I'm not supposed to do it, but it's like they exist to be stepped on. Don't you fear the animal lovers? Man, fuck animal lovers. Dog owners are not animal lovers. They abuse the shit out of their pets. If they actually love their dogs, they wouldn't keep them untrained and in their feral barking ass state like they always do. They'd actually fucking train their dogs so the dogs would be happier with their life. Dog owners don't give a fuck about their dogs, honestly. They care more about their own ego. In fact, if these people actually liked dogs in the first place, they wouldn't let these horrible, chronically ill lap dogs like Chihuahuas and pugs to exist. The entire pug's life is just endless pain and suffering. Pugs exist so they have a cute, scrunched up face that makes humans feel happy and shit. And what that means is the pug is gonna just suffer from a lifetime of asthma and like all sorts of health issues. It's actually pretty fucked up. We just don't think about it. Small leg cat. Is that even a thing? Munchkin cats? I haven't even heard of this. Holy fuck. That's so adorable! Oh, it's so cute. What a cute little thing. It can't walk properly. So fucking cute. At least with like shit like greyhounds, they're engineered to like do something specific instead of just be like, oh, look at that doggo. Look how ugly cute he is. Look at that scrunched face. Because his face is scrunched, he can't breathe. That's adorable. I don't know how to position these shapes. What am am I doing? Ah! I need some assistant who has worked in the shoujo manga industry to show me what kind of sparkly tones they use. Because that's like 90% of how shoujo manga just fills up the fucking screen, is they have a million different sparkly tones. You just pull them out. Ah, fuck. It's not working. What am I trying to do here? Fuck. Maybe I use a lighter gray? Seems like I get a bigger fucking one if I smash my pen into it. Stack Fairy Companion. We didn't have enough big boob content in this chapter, so I had to get the boobs in somewhere. Least aerodynamic fairy. I don't even think fairies fly based on traditional thermodynamics and aerodynamics and stuff. It's just magic. They're just made out of like wishes and prayers and stuff like that. You guys remember in Peter Pan how they're like, every time you say that a fairy isn't real, a fucking fairy dies? And Tinkerbell is about to die because someone said fairies weren't real or some shit like that. And then to bring Tinkerbell back to life, you all have to like clap your hands or some shit like that. They're just made out of magic pixie dust. What are Chadford's D&D stats? He's like a level 20 plus bard, so too high. Chadford once cast Wish to impress a woman at a bar. We're talking about that kind of stupid power levels. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this layer with the sparkly shit on it. And we're going to move it like this. And drag it so that these hexagonal shapes are going toward the fairy's ass. So your eye is naturally guided toward the fairy's butt. Then we'll have the other ones, and it will be magically guiding your eye toward the fairy's boobs. There, problem solved. That should do it. Is there urinal for fairies? Fairy urinal is the mouth of every incel otaku being like, God, I wish that was me. Every time you piss on your wife, a fairy dies, or a fairy is born. I'm not sure. It might be either. I still can't believe Amber Heard shit on the bed. Literally. Shit on the bed is... You think it's just a turn of phrase, but every once in a while there's people who actually do shit on the bed. And they're the special people among us, the chosen ones, if you will. Only animals shit on the bed. Is she an animal? I think she was just being vindicative against Johnny Depp or something. How do you get to the point of shitting on the bed, literally? I think she was marking her territory. No, I think she was just trying to get back at him for something. I don't know. If someone shit on my bed, I'd be pretty pissed. So it probably was successful as a tactic to get back at her boyfriend or husband or whatever he was. There's better ways to seek revenge against Johnny Depp. Hide his cocaine. See, this is a very amateur response that clearly shows you're not in the mental capacity of Amber Heard. How can she hide his cocaine if they're both using the same cocaine and also she wants to be using cocaine all day? If she wants the cocaine to actually be hidden from Johnny Depp, that means she also can't be snorting cocaine in front of him either. The only time she'll be allowed to snort cocaine is when he isn't around. That means she's inconveniencing herself as well. And obviously that is not acceptable. You should take 5 seconds to think about your poor ideas before you suggest something as drastic as taking away Johnny Depp's cocaine supply, okay? Amber needs her bumps all day long. Are cocaine enemas a thing? I believe they are, but I'm not an expert on how to use cocaine. She could hide the cocaine inside her nose. Yes, I think they were doing plenty of that. The only reason I'm thinking about Amber Heard is because I keep on reading the New York Times opinion section, which I really should stop. And for some reason, some opinion columnist was talking about the incel backlash or blah blah blah, male backlash against the Me Too movement and how awful it was and how they slandered women. And they listed Amber Heard's name, and I was just like, How can that be the person you want to bring up to remind people of when you're talking about how men were so, you know, wrong about going after women and shit like that? If anything, you should be trying to bury her in people's memories as deep as possible, because she's like the number one reason why people reached a turning point on the Me Too movement when they were like, huh, maybe we shouldn't believe all women. I don't know if I want to believe this Amber Heard person, but, you know, again, I should stop reading the New York Times opinion section. Pretty sure the anal walls are way more receptive to medication and or drugs than the walls inside the nose? Yes. In general, if you want to absorb something, it's best to put it in your asshole. Which is why when gay men want to absorb the semen to get pregnant, for higher male preg probability, it's best to absorb the semen through your asshole. This is why gay men have a higher rate of impregnation than straight women. The vagina is full of all sorts of weird acidic chemicals and stuff that kill sperm, whereas when you're getting male preg, the asshole just it just sucks up that sperm very easily. Higher rates of impregnation that way. Shut the fuck up about the Gamma-verse. I believe it's the Omega-verse that you're talking about. I don't know if there's Gammas. We can look that up. I'm pretty sure there wasn't. They only talk about Alpha, Betas, Omegas. Omega-verse Gamma. A Gamma is a third primary gender that will mature into either a female Alpha Delta or a male Omega. They are a smaller percentage of the population. Thanks, AI Overview. You're really helping me understand the Omega-verse immediately. I might not trust you on a lot of other information, but I will trust you on this one. They are a smaller percentage of the population, with 1 in every 1,000 people being born a Gamma. Within that group, a smaller number will present as Alpha, 1 in 50 Gammas, Delta, 1 in 10 Gammas, or Omega, 1 in 100 Gammas, with the rest becoming Betas. Here's a breakdown of characteristics often associated with Gammas in Omega-verse. Submissive to Alphas and Betas. Gammas are often portrayed as followers within the social hierarchy. Physical characteristics. They might be smaller than Alphas and Deltas, with smaller penises if male, and produce unappealing slick if female. What? And produce unappealing slick if female. Can someone explain that sentence? I can't tell if the AI is having an aneurysm or something, or if the Omega-verse is just too complex for me to understand. Gammas are often decided as dexterous, good at hiding and stealth, strong enough to climb. They may be servants or agents to Alphas or other subgenders. Gammas may require genuine bond before engaging in sexual activity, and hookups may not be genuine reasons. A significant number of Gammas may try to present as Alphas, but this is usually unsuccessful. Dive deeper in AI mode. Holy shit, guys. It just keeps on going. What about Sigmas? Omega-verse. Sigmas. I don't think Sigmas are a big thing in the Omega-verse, to be honest. Because, when I read my Yaoi Omega-verse doujins, I don't really see any Sigmas show up. I am so confused, LOL. Is this about non-binary people? Deathstriker, you are the female in this conversation. You're supposed to be the specialist on Omega-verse. How can you not know? This is basic stuff, guys. When an alpha male is in heat, he turns to the omega male, who is also in heat, so he can have anal sex and male preg the omega male. That's just how biology works, guys. I thought all women read yaoi. I mean, to be fair, Omegaverse is slightly different from yaoi because it has such a high focus on male pregnancies and has a very well-defined sexual system in which the male pregnancy happens. Whereas yaoi before the Omegaverse often was just like homosexuality, so it wasn't about men getting pregnant. For a moment, I thought we were talking about Marvel stuff. We are. Haven't you been reading the Thanos Omega Steve Rogers Alpha Dojins? Mpreg is a no thank you. I enjoy more classic Eldritch horrors. Typical female trying to hog all the baby rearing to themselves instead of letting men participate through male pregnancy. Ask Grok to write a hard sci-fi story in the Omegaverse in the style of Jane Austen. I don't know if they will let me do anymore. They added so many levels of, like, you're not allowed to do that shit anymore. Please write a yaoi Omegaverse story featuring Alpha Captain America and Omega Thanos involving male preg drama. Will it do it? It will do it. Title: Cosmic Bonds and Hidden Truths. The air in the Avengers compound was thick with tension, the kind that clung to the walls like smoke after a battle. Steve Rogers, Captain America, stood at the head of the war room, his broad shoulders squared, blue eyes sharp as they scanned the holographic map of the universe. His alpha pheromones radiated strength, command, and unshakable resolve, but beneath it all there was a flicker of unease. The team had been tracking Thanos, the Mad Titan, for weeks, ever since the whispers of his return began to ripple through the cosmos. Steve's mind wasn't just on the mission, though. It was on him. Thanos. The Omega whose very presence had once shaken Steve to his core, not just as an enemy, but as something far more complicated. Their history was a secret Steve guarded fiercely, one that could unravel everything he built as the steadfast leader of the Avengers. 3 years ago, Titan. Jesus Christ, it's super long. I'm not gonna read all of this, guys. This is like 5,000 words. I'll just skip to the end. Resolution. The birth was a harrowing ordeal, but with Bruce and Strange's combined efforts, the child, a girl with her father's blue eyes and her bearer's violet skin, survived. Thanos, weakened but alive, named her Astra, a nod to the stars that had brought them together. The Avengers were divided on Thanos' fate. Some called for justice, others for mercy. Steve, torn between his duty to the world and his bond with Thanos, advocated for exile over execution. As Thanos was taken to a secure facility, he looked back at Steve, holding Astra in his arms. "You were my balance, Rogers," he said, a rare softness in his voice. "Take care of her." Steve nodded, his heart heavy but certain. He'd face the world's judgment, the Avengers' doubts, and his own fears. For Astra, for Thanos, for the bond that had changed him forever. At different parts it says, the Mpreg drama intensified when complications arose. The child's hybrid nature caused Thanos intense pain. And Bruce warned that both Thanos and the baby might not survive the birth. Steve's alpha instincts screamed to protect his mate and the child, but Thanos, ever the pragmatist, prepared for the worst, entrusting Steve with their child's future. I balanced the universe once, Thanos murmured, his voice weak as he lay in the med bay. But this is my true legacy. Steve gripped his hand, his resolve hardening. We'll get through this, together. Thanos' eyes, those piercing violet orbs, held Steve's gaze. You know why, Alpha. This, he gestured to his slightly swollen abdomen, is ours. Tony's jaw dropped. Okay, someone want to fill me in? Because I'm getting some serious soap opera vibes here. I'm glad that Grok understands the Marvel writing here. That's pretty Marvel writing right there. Quiet, Stark, Natasha snapped, her eyes darting between Steve and Thanos, piercing it together. Steve's mind reeled. He'd known their night on Titan had been reckless, but he hadn't considered this. Omegas, especially as one as powerful as Thanos, rarely conceived without intent. Yet here they were, bound by a cosmic miracle neither had planned. Deep, isn't it? Dude, don't bring normal girls into this. No woman worth your company is gooning to this. Speak for yourself. Let's go on to N Hentai and look up Omegaverse and see the most genres we can find. Okay, lots of original content. It's... Oh, wait. I think they purge all their stuff. And Hentai is just constantly purging their shit for some reason. I'm not sure why. Like, half the time they just deleted everything. Let's go to E-Hentai. Okay, original. Lots of original, actually. Interesting. Huh, maybe it's not the right tag. Males only. I guess they don't have Omegaverse as a tag anymore. That's interesting. Because Omega Basu is something that Japanese use at this point. I guess it's now in the yaoi tag instead of the greater Omegaverse or the more specific Omegaverse. Here's an Attack on the Titan featuring Eren Yeager and Levi Ackerman. I am confused and not aroused, as usual. Women just want to gatekeep the whole childbearing thing. But men are perfectly capable of reproducing on our own. When an alpha in heat finds an omega who is also in heat, magical things happen. I still can't believe they removed the bimbofication tag. No way. They would never remove that. Impossible. I don't believe you. Bimbofication. Huh. You might be right. I mean, I still get 17,000 results, though. Female, big ass, big breast, bisexual, masturbation, personality, excretion, possession, slime, transformation, detached sleeves, foot job, gender change, horns, masturbation. Huh, you might be right. Interesting. I'm not seeing the bimbofication. Maybe it's still like, it's like hidden, but it no longer is displayed in the female tags on eHentai anymore. I think that might be what's going on. Why would they remove that, though? Were the bimbofication people spamming so much bimbofication tags that they were like, we can't allow this anymore? Why would that happen? That seems pretty crazy. Big boob tag is basically useless and still exists. But what if you only want to see big boobs and that's the only thing you care about? I don't think that's necessarily true. If you're on Pixiv, there's a lot of flat-chested lolis and shit that I don't want to see. And I try and avoid that stuff. Adult woman fetishist. Yeah, when I'm trying to generate porn in my AI website that I found, often I'll type mature as part of the prompt because back in my day when we were looking at porn of real women, when you said a woman was mature, that meant they were like 55. Like way too fucking old. But if you're talking about like AI shit, it's the only way to make sure that the girl doesn't look like she's like 12 half the time. If you just want to like just straight up adult woman, it can be very hard out in the streets. Can you guys hear that? The fucking ice cream truck is outside again. Make a run for it. I don't need shitty ice cream that's overpriced. That stuff is only fun when you're a child. When you're an adult, you just go and buy 10 gallons of ice cream and have it on hand at all times so you can get fat on your own terms. They discontinued Choco Tacos. There is no point. I've never had one. American ice cream is so inferior to Japanese ice cream. I never really developed any real taste for specific ice cream bars. I guess I like the, what do you call them? The strawberry shortcake bars. That's about it. Bomb Pops are also nice if it's like super hot, I guess. But that's about it. I have way more Japanese ice cream that I like better. What about Italian Filagio gelato? Yes, I like gelato. If you're in Japan, everybody always makes the joke about Ferrari. Maybe not even if you're just in Japan, but it especially sounds similar if you're speaking in Japanese katakana. Ferrari. Because the other word is just straight up Ferra. So you're just stretching out Ferrari. The only country that has an even comparable level of tastiness in food to Japan is Italy, honestly. Italy, country of gelato and pizza and various pasta. Japan, country of also pizza and various pasta. All the carbs. Just give me all the carbs. Just fuck up my blood sugar, baby. Oh yeah. Just give me diabetes right now. Big Daddy pasta. Gotta be careful where you go, in Italy you go to. I guess. I mean, I feel like you can get people that steal your shit anywhere in Italy. I was in massive tourist areas and they were fucking pickpockets, of course. I mean, if you're from America, at least you're not going to get shot by a meth head in Italy. Well, maybe you might be, but the total number of guns isn't pretty comparable, so I feel like if you're an American, you may as well not worry too much about it. Just don't let people steal your shit. I once had pigeon feed shoved into my hands by an Italian vendor and had to air punch pigeons away from me. Did he ask you for money for the pigeon feed after you survived the pigeons attacking? I assume that's the plan, is that he gives you the pigeon feed even if you don't want it. And then he's like, now you had your experience with the pigeons, you must give me money or something. I'm sure Japan will be the ones to cure major diseases. They've already started making universal artificial blood. Japan is good at inventing stuff, although not as much as they were in the 90s. And we certainly can't rely on America at this point, considering our entire government's strategy is just like science is bad, so Japan better invent some shit, because who else is gonna? I guess this hat is fine. Ugh. Italian men spent more time grooming than any women I ever encountered, but they have the weirdest hang-ups about masculinity. I heard that European men will legitimately stick socks inside their tight pants to make it look like they have bigger penis bulge, which is pretty base, to be honest. Men aren't afraid to, you know, fake their cock size by any means necessary. Alright, let's play some Guess the Game, honestly. It's been so long. I bet they have a shit ton of new Guess the Game stuff going on. We haven't done Guess the Game in a very, very long time. The fact that I'm pulling out Guess the Game shows how fucking tired I am of working on this chapter, and I don't want to work on it, but I also need to finish it. It's gonna take forever if I keep on getting sidetracked, and yet there is nothing I can do. Doesn't this kind of look like Knights of the Old Republic or something? The graphics are a little too good for Knights of the Old Republic, considering this is clearly zoomed in. They got rid of that bug in which you could see outside the lines if you had the mouse close enough. The chair is not very Star Wars. Do you think this is a chair? I mean, this arrow is in Star Wars, but I have no idea what this might be. Robot? Are you talking about Haley? Do we have any guesses? Haley. Is it H-A-I? It's Haiti, that's right. Haiti, and Haiti has better graphics. Fine. Knights of the Old Republic. I know it's not because there's this weird ass arrow here, but I can't think of anything else, so. Okay, Chinese. 63%. Looks probably like some kind of shitty fighting game. Gong Red Steel? I don't even know. I'm guessing considering we're at game 1182, it's probably a pretty shitty fucking game. It definitely does feel like PS3. Dead or Alive? Nah. I don't think Dead or Alive had this. If it would be, it'd be like Dead or Alive 3 Wii. The graphics are too good for Wii. We can try Red Steel, why not? It's not Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat would have like some spikes somewhere. Oh shit, you got it. Who's cheating? Who was the person who kept on getting it and people started accusing them of cheating? I can't remember who that was. It wasn't you, but I know my trash, yes. Your shitty Wii game is deeply engraved in your fucking memory as you wasted your life and your youth playing a game that was way, way worse than any of the other consoles. Holy shit. That fucking graphic. You must swing the katana with your fucking waggle con. I own this Ubisoft trash. Nice. Look at that combat. Aw, oh, man, it's so cool. Nothing like waggling your controller. Alright. Old stuff. Previous days. Let's see, how much have we skipped? Like a year and a half, right? Is this the Daikatana I heard so much about? We were at like 880? No, this is the newer shit. Okay, this is where we got up. We got all the way to like 687. Okay. Game Boy Advance? This feels like one of the Capcom Zeldas. I don't know. This could be anything. I didn't play much handheld stuff. Mother? You think this is Mother? It could be like Mother 3. It feels way more like indie slop instead of the actual Mothers. We could try Mother 3 or something. It's probably not one of the first Mothers, but... I guess there's only 2. Wait, 3 is the recent one, right? We could try Mother 2. RPG Maker vibe? It's not RPG Maker unless they did a shit ton of customization. Wow, it really does look like Earthbound. 78%. Huh. Well, I'm pretty sure this is indie shit, though. Like, recent indie shit that wants to be SNES. Mother 3 is the one that never released in the West. Interesting. I think this is just pretending to be an old game, not a real new game. I'm gonna skip this one. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's Switch. Okay, it really is new. I'm pretty sure I've never heard of this, so unless you guys are like indie specialists, I have no idea about this type of like indie quasi RPG on a Switch. I have been ignoring anything on a Nintendo platform recently, so... Slope Slight. Sports RPG Adventure. I have no fucking idea. Okay, it's some kind of golf game, but... Nintendo Golf. That isn't Mario. Nintendo Switch Sports, is that a thing? Sidebar games. What kind of Giga Slop is this? Jesus Christ, I feel bad for people who have to play games on Nintendo. If anybody can guess it, now is your chance, but I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Skip. Lost. Golf Story. I have not even heard of this. 2017. Jesus Christ. Oh, you missed it. A little late. We've only failed a few times, actually. Usually somebody in chat has some kind of memory of even the more obscure games, but most people are still PC gamers, so... Let's see, where's the go next one? Here. What the fuck? Is this a fucking joke? What the fuck is this shit? Stop changing the fucking format, you piece of shit. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. April 1st. I get it. Fuck you, machine. Alright, that's enough. Next. Alright, let's see. What do we have here? Now, this looks like a PS2 game. PS2 game, weird sign. The lighting looks... Is it Skyrim? Did Skyrim have this kind of architecture, though? This sign really bothers me. The lighting also isn't very un-Skyrim-like. I don't think... Like a dark gun. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, like... RE4 almost. Alice Madness Returns? This? I haven't played it. Drawn background? No. This is like a... This is a close-up of a relatively low-poly, low texture PS2 game, I think. 2024, by the way? Yeah. I'm sure this is an old game. This should be enough if it was a big one. Yeah, I think anything like this kind of sign, people would like, if this was like RE4, for example, we'd recognize the art assets. Dark Watch? What is Dark Watch? I don't even know that. I'll give that a try. I don't know, it seems like old PC almost, not console. 70%. Alone in the Dark, maybe? This seems like shitty horror. Like Amnesia type stuff, but I'm pretty sure we already had Amnesia in this. Yeah, it seems like one of the Amnesias, doesn't it? I do not have time to be playing shitty-ass Amnesia games, but that's sort of what it feels like. Amnesia, Machine for Pigs, Dark Descent, Rebirth. Damn, there's like 5 of them. And I can't remember, there was like a few that already appeared. Let's try Dark Descent first and see if it's... No, it's not Amnesia. It would give you a yellow if it was the same. PC, X360, PS3, PS4, X1. Is this the fucking Thief remake, guys? With like the horrible fucking textures? Wasn't the Thief remake just like awful? This is Thief, isn't it? This fucking stupid ass that everybody hated. I think it is Thief. Was it just called Thief? I think it was. Dark Project is the original one, right? Let's try it. Oh god, it is. The massive fucking failure. Hey guys, look! Holy shit, look at this guy's dress. He looks like a modern day guy who got his clothing from the Gap. He literally looks like he's wearing like a shirt and jeans or something. Yeah, I guess it is Thief. 2014. You want to say that it was a better time, but it wasn't. I think I saw someone streaming it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, holy shit, this looks like it has a lot of problems. I think I know people who worked on this. Rest in peace. Eidos Montreal, who was probably bought by Square Enix or something and then got dissolved. Sag. Is it Eidos or Eidos? 2014 was 7 years ago. I have some bad news for you, buddy. Okay, punk, urban, what's this random crap? This looks like a beat 'em up, like, I don't know, maybe like No More Heroes type stuff. I don't think this is Cyberpunk. It says Tasty. Outer Worlds, that seems like a good guess. It was out in 2024 already, so... Sifu? Wasn't Sifu set in, like, Hong Kong in the past or something? I kind of like the Outer Worlds guess. I don't think Outer Worlds was in the, guess the game in the past ones at this point. No. 87%. Relatively well liked. There's a map at the bottom. Huh. Shitty graphics, but it might just be zoomed in. Some kind of warehouses. The Surge. This does kind of look like The Surge, doesn't it? I feel that. We can try the Surge. Yeah. I tried playing the Surge for like 20 minutes and I was like, no. I love Souls shit, but this is... I'm not willing to stoop this low. No. Switch. Is this Astral Chain? That's the only thing that's coming to mind. Kind of shitty cyberpunk future. Man, Nintendo games are like... They're just really hard to figure it out based on their graphics. Because they're always like 2 generations behind. But then it's also like a modern game. I think it has to be Astral Chain, right? It was Astral Chain. I can only recognize Astral Chain if they show the ass animations, you know? Astral Chain, the ass. Show the ass. Show the ass. There's no female model. What the fuck? Astral Chain female protagonist outfits. Yes, sir. Imagine this is the male, and I just didn't know. And I was like, yeah, look at that tight ass, and it's like, ah, yes, the male protag and the female protag. They share outfits. You were just looking at a man's ass. Alright, good. Next. Okay, this is definitely a famous game. If they're only showing this much, it's like a poison swamp. Is this, Undertale, possibly? PC gamers, anyone? This is either like a super famous Deltarune, Undertale, Extreme... I think it's PC indie instead of an actually old game, but it might be a famous old game. Deltarune looks like... That's what I was thinking. Like the purples. I know Deltarune has strong purples in it. No. Too old, so it's an actually old game. Looks like, I don't know. Spelunker? Huh. Could this be a Zelda? Like Zelda 2? My mommy wouldn't let me play video games when I was a baby, so... Spelunker is Atari, so this is definitely... No, it's not ToeJam and Earl. ToeJam and Earl has better graphics than this. This is NES 1, definitely. This is NES 1. Wanna try Zelda 2? What's it called? It's not Link's Awakening. 2 isn't gonna be helpful. Skyward Sword, Phantom Hourglass, Minish Cap, Oracle of Ages, Tetris Trackers. It's Link's Adventure. Yeah, I couldn't fucking remember what it's called, actually. I don't think it's that. We can try, though. In fact, I'm not seeing Link's Adventure in here. Fine, let's just do Legend of Zelda. Oh, it's a PC 601 Racer. What the fuck is this? Racing slop for arcade. I have no fucking idea. It probably has like some sort of name like Giga Fast Racer 1990 or something like that. It would probably be like 1842. Skip. Oh, it's fucking Frogger. No wonder. Okay. No wonder they weren't giving us much information. It's fucking Frogger. God damn it. I should have been able to guess that. Fucking logs and the turtles. You just try and cross the fucking road without getting murdered. This fucking game was the bane of my existence when I worked at GameStop. Why? Because people were asking for an original copy of it? Why would that... I don't understand. Why would that be a thing? Did they have like a playable copy or some shit? How is Frogger relevant? This and Battletoads? It's a brutal game, as they used to be. People called constantly asking for those two games? Why? Was it like a collector's item, or is it just like old people who are like, I need to play Frogger now? You don't understand. This is the game of my childhood. If I can't play Frogger, I will fucking cease to exist. Look at that snake go. Next. What time is it? 7:50, Jesus. It was a prank. LMAO, so funny. Now this looks like Nintendo slop again. Is this Animal Crossing? Okay, as soon as it's famous, everyone's played it. Alright. Which Animal Crossing, though? New Leaf is the most famous one, right? Is it just the original Animal Crossing? With no subtitle? No. Happy Home Designer? %. Do we have any Animal Crossing heads that are extremely confident about which version of Animal Crossing it is? Damn, there's a ton. There's New Horizons, Plaza, Amiibo, City Folk is Wii, that might be DDS. Or DS, Dance Dance Revolution. Wild World? No. It is 3DS though. Wait, I thought New Leaf was the most recent one. They're giving me New Leaf as the first one. Okay, there it is. 3DS, New Leaf, TNT Mart. I'm very much anti-Animal Crossing. Because, you know, I hate people, so designing an entire city for these shitty-ass animal villagers sounds like slavery. Oh, Horizons, that's right. Not that I really care. Why did the animal cross the road? We could have made that joke during the Frogger one as well. Some people just like disassociate and fish for sturgeon. I can't disassociate if there's all these asshole villagers asking for my services, okay? I need a power fantasy. Grass. This looks like Japanese shit. I don't know. Rido? What is this low poly grass? Is this fucking Harry Potter? We have a hand holding a stick that looks like a wand. It's not Sakuya. Sakuya has better graphics than this shit. It looks like Harry Potter, doesn't it? Like, what is this fucking wand? It's not Lego, but Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. No. Llamas, 59%. What game has llamas has been reviewed poorly? Has some weird ass environments. It's definitely not Final Fantasy XI, I can tell you that. New Zealand Simulator. Is that a Hobbit house? Round door. Yeah, I kind of see it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is a Hobbit game. It definitely is trying to be a whimsical fantasy game. This looks like it's a wand. The Hobbit. Maybe it's just The Hobbit. Okay, it is franchise Lord of the Rings. Here's fucking Aragon, I assume. Xbox Game Boy Advance. Now, if there's something that dates the era, the fact that they try to have the fucking Game Boy Advance version of a game that's on Xbox and PS2 is, it tells you all you need to know, of course. You think it's the online version? Lord of the Rings Online? I mean, the llamas kind of say it might be the online game, right? And these hills kind of say it might be online. There's this area that you can run around in where there's actually nothing. Lord of the Rings Online. But it's Game Boy Advance. They probably wouldn't have that. Yeah, they wouldn't call it online. Could be a lot of different Lord of the Rings games. We can try Fellowship of the Ring. You got it. It was some shitty movie tie-in. (2002). Do we even get these type of shitty-ass movie games that nobody likes anymore? I feel like they finally figured out that the games fucking suck and kids can't be tricked to get their parents to buy them as much. But maybe I'm just not paying attention. It looks too good for GBA. Of course it is. The Game Boy Advance version has the same title, so it's listed under this shit, but it's a completely different game and it's way worse than the other two games, even if this is originally bad. I mean, there's the fucking Game Boy Advance Call of Duty and shit like that, you know? Okay, this seems like something people would be able to guess. Like, I don't know. There's a monkey on a bicycle in the corner if you use the bug. Off screen, monkey on a bicycle. It's not Fable 1. Look at the sign here. Fable 1 wouldn't have a diamond sign, yeah. Trials? Trials isn't this old. Bug Snacks 2. Remember when I one-shot Bug Snacks when it showed up? I'm like, this is Bug Snacks, right? One of my best moments. My Bug Snacks fucking guess. I don't know. I have no idea what this might be. We could try Trials. I don't know. I doubt that's what it is. Trials HD. Huh. Weird. 65%. Poorly reviewed. Sunflowers. It looks like a cow. I don't know. It looks like a standing cow. It looks like some Wayne Zacky shit. Like, no monkeys riding bicycles. No standing cows. Could it be something like some sort of Simpsons game or some shit? Kind of shit reviews. Looks like your mom. Looks like your mom. I would know because I was having sex with a cow mom last night. Movie tie-in with Animal Farms, like Shaun the Sheep, the video game or some shit. I'm gonna skip. What the fuck? Fucking jar meter. This is like, how much semen have you filled the jar with? Animal Farm, the movie, the game, yeah. Defeat the communists. Barnyard. Is that an actual game? Barnyard. Blast Swine of the Night. Oh god, it is Barnyard. What the fuck? PlayStation 2 PC. I've never even heard of this. I thought that it looked like a standing cow in the Shaun the Sheep, what do you call the guys? The Wallace and Gromit style. I fucking thought that, like, this stance right here. Something about the stance looked like the Wallace and Gromit stance. It's just fucking standing there looking at each other. Maybe they... I can't remember if they were actually involved in this or not. I'm assuming they were. It's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, except you're a fucking cow, it seems. Blue Tongue. Based on the animated film of the same name. I didn't even know that was a, you get a customizable cow. Racing bikes to launching cows with milk squirting antics. It's a fucking free roam sandbox cow movie game. We invented our own fun back in the day, guys. Alright, one more. Damn. What the fuck is this? Pour one out for the poor devs who had to work on games like this. I mean, they might be working on better games now, which is might be why the games are so shitty. I don't know. This is not Breath of the Wild, guys. Come on. Honkai Star Rail? No way. This? This color palette? It seems too creative. This feels like... It feels like II. It also feels like Nintendo. Celeste is 2D, dude. Does not look like this. It's pixel graphics. It almost looks like Katamari. But not. Huh. Oh, you can see a little bit of the message here. Skip. Okay, top down. Maybe some kind of torchlight. It's definitely a game I have not played. 79%. Possibly indie. MOBA slop. This isn't League, is it? Oh, Teamfight Tactics. That's right. This would be the right the time in which they might put that in there. Yeah. I think you're right. I forgot about it. I forgot it existed. Remember when Auto Battlers was a thing? Auto Chess? Everyone was like, oh man! And for like a month and a half, people were like, this is the future of games. And then everyone was like, this is fucking stupid, stop it. You got it. Dragon Jade Guild. Cringe. The cringiest of all eras. When is Riot Games gonna go under, guys? Please. I fucking hate the Riot Games color palette and everything about them. Why are they still so successful? I don't understand. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. I will continue grinding. I'm having a lot of difficulty finishing the manga because the only things left are the difficult parts, so obviously, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I will keep on trying. See you around, guys. Good night!